I did promise you guys an in-depth video of the Marshall Origin 50 when I did my unboxing and first impressions video though. At the time I was like, yeah, whatever, I've just played some riffs and got some tones, and then when I was editing it back I was kind of like, you know what, this is actually everything that I would have covered in an in-depth video except for like a couple of things. Mostly showing off the power scaling feature and then running a couple of different drives into it. Otherwise, I thought the in-depth video, it would just seem like I'd be doubling up with a lot of stuff. So if you want to have a listen to just some raw tones, go and watch my first impressions of this amp. I use a couple of different guitars and I only use the one speaker cabinet. So in this video, what we're going to do is we are going to have a listen to this amp in a track, which I'll play for you guys in a second. We'll have a listen to how the power scaling affects the tone. We'll have a listen to it used with a couple of different drive pedals in front of it. And then we'll have a listen to how speaker choice affects what's going on with the Origin. Let's do all of that. So this is kind of the in-depth demo, kind of the overview. Let's have a listen to some music first. So with that track, the main rhythm tracks were doubled. I used a Strat on the bridge pickup for the left channel, and then I just chucked it over to the neck pickup for the next channel and just tweaked the tilt control a little bit to sort of brighten it up on the neck pickup. It was all going into my Marshall 412 with Celestion greenback speakers mic'd up with an SM57, a really simple signal chain. That just went straight into my DAW, used a little bit of high and low cut and nothing else. So it's pretty much raw guitar there. I did add a little bit of delay with the Echo Boy plugin on the lead guitar track, which I played with my PRS SC245. For the 245 solo, I was actually on the low power setting, and for the rest of it, I was on the mid power setting. I found that on this amp, I really like that mid power setting, just because it sort of gives you a little bit more breakup. But let's have a listen to the same settings with the volume normalized between each of these three power settings so that you guys can get an idea of how it actually affects the tone. of Marshall's main selling points for this amp is that it can be used as a pedal platform. So what I have got is my Anarchy Audio Gainer Tones, which is a dual foot switch, kind of like in between a Prince of Tone and King of Tone style thing. It's based around a modified Marshall Bluesbreaker pedal. I've got a Klon clone and I've got a way huge Swollen Pickle, which is one of my favorite fuzzers. I have set the amp up with the bass low and the middle and treble quite high. I've got the master volume all the way up. I'm using the high power mode, and I've got the preamp gain at around 9 o'clock, and it's pushed in, so less gain basically. And this is the clean sound. Which is right on the edge of breakup. If I hit really hard on the bridge pickup, you get this. If I play on the neck pickup softly. Which is really nice. Let's kick in the gainer tones. Sweet, so that's with the gainer tones. Let's try the Klon copy. This is it on its own. Now let's try stack the gainer tones with the Klon in front of it. And my camera just died there. What I wanted to do is chuck the Swollen Pickle in front of the gainer tones. Let's have a listen to the Swollen Pickle on its own. That's pretty amazing for stoner style stuff. And then you go back to the clean sound on the neck pickup. So there you go, make up your mind for yourself if you think that's the sort of pedal platform you would like to use. A lot of people use Voxes or Fenders, which have a very different voicing. This has its own thing going on. Much in the same way, it doesn't quite sound exactly like a 70s JMP. I know a lot of people said that, or like a 2203 or a Plexi. It's not 100% classic Marshall tone. It's got its own thing going on, and for that reason it's not 100% like Voxy or Fendery either. You wouldn't expect that with Marshall on the badge either. So that's with greenbacks. Let's just have a listen to some straight up tones with a couple of different speaker choices. We will try, obviously we've heard greenbacks, we'll hear vintage 30s and then T75s. Okay, these are my favorite settings. The power switch on the mid setting, I've got the master volume at around 7, I've got the presence at 2, the treble is at about 6 or 7, kind of in between, the middle is at 6, The bass is down at a little over 2, the tilt control is at about 8, and I've pulled the gain control out and set it to about 6. This is with a Celestion G12T75. So in that case, you can hear there's sort of like more of a pronounced mid-spike, and I think it just goes to show how much speaker choice matters. I sound like a broken record when I say this, but on all my videos, whenever you're evaluating an amplifier, the speaker cabinet, the speaker, and the microphone choice play as much of a role as the guitar and the amplifier. So hopefully that demonstrates that with the Origin 50. Choose your cabinets wisely. So that pretty much covers everything that I wanted to have a look at with the Origin 50. I know a few of you guys have asked how this amp compares to something like a vintage modern or a DSL, so I have done a separate video which I will edit and hopefully get up not too long after this one, comparing it side by side with those amps. Essentially, it just has a different voicing. That's the way I would approach this amp. Considering that it costs less than $1,000 Australian dollars, I think it's a great sounding amp. You know, it may not sound like a 70s JMP, it may not sound like a JCM 800, but it's got its own voicing going on, especially on that mid-power thing. And I think it's a cool thing. It's sort of like, almost leans in between, if there was an amp between like a JTM 45, which is a little bit sort of tubbier in the low end and a little bit more compressed, and a Marshall 50 watt 1987X, which has a lot more of that classic sort of crunch and crack and really fast attack that we would associate. This guy sits in the middle. It's like got a little bit of flub in the low end, but it is brighter. So that's why it takes pedals really well. I think Marshall got that right. And it does sound different with different speakers. So if you're looking for essentially an old school, brighter, cleaner Marshall kind of sound, like say you're a guy who owns a DSL and you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, but you want to go for something a little bit more classic, this is probably a good amp. In terms of being a pedal platform, I think most people, it's going to be hard to convince them to go away from something like their, you know, Fender Deluxe or their Vox AC30, just because those amps are so easy to get as backline amps. If you're used to using a big pedal board and using stuff as backline, you've probably designed your pedal board to work with one of those two amps. So this guy trying to be a pedal platform, honestly, it's not bad. It does do the job, but I think there are better options out there. I think it actually just stands alone on its own as kind of like a cool rock head. It's great for like Blackmore style stuff. It's great for 70s style stuff with a Les Paul. And it definitely sort of sits in that vintage sort of era when it comes to tones. And it's just got its own voicing, like I said. And you're either going to really like that voicing, as some of you guys already mentioned, that you've got the amp and you've fallen in love with it, or you're going to be totally underwhelmed by it, in which case, hopefully my video which does a comparison gives you some other ideas for amps that I think are really great modern Marshalls, like the DSL and the vintage modern. If you guys have any particular comments or questions, please leave them in the video description. Don't put them in the video description. I do the video description. Leave them in the comments. And again, thank you so much to Mega Music for loaning me this amp. I've only had it for a couple of days, so I'm sure there are a whole bunch of other tones and features which can be unlocked, but very grateful for those guys for giving me the opportunity to use one. I'll put their purchase links in the video description as a way to say thanks. Like I said, this isn't a sponsored video. They're not paying me. Marshall's not paying me. I was just curious because you guys have been bugging me about this head, and that's my opinion. That's what it sounds like. Leave a comment, peace out, subscribe, say hi to your mum, give her a phone call, call your dad if he's still around, tell him you love him, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.